what did they do the other night? Killed another Negro up there, and I don't know where. Minnesota. Not 1,000 miles away, but right 2 blocks. They say he was killed 10 blocks, 15 blocks away from where so-and-so is going to court. And the white lady said, and you could hear her setting herself up to try to beat the case. Oh my God, taser, and she pulling a gun. Not that a taser feels different than a gun, right? And everybody know what it is. Look at the world. What did the world think about Boss Man? Remember how bad he used to be when you had to say something? That's it. What about now? What about now after Korea? After Vietnam? What about him after various crises around the world? What about him after the fall of Russia, when he get to make fun of the Russians? And you don't make fun if you knock a guy out. You know what I mean? You don't stand over and making fun of him. You say, well, good fight, champ. You know, you did good. You know what I mean? Let's have a little drink or something after that. Yeah, sucker, you lost. We won bubble gum. You lost applesauce. Right? You know. The U.S. made fun of Russia all during the 90s. Right? And every other since then. Our system won. This great Americanism has won. Bullcrap. Now, the Chinese, the Russians, the strategic alliances between Iran, between Iraq, right? Between Syria, between Yemen. Who's winning on all those? They're having a hard time. But who's holding out? They are. Even in, let's say, who's possibly going to win next election in Iran? Possibly, they say. Possibly? Probably? Who's losing? The same people that dumped us for Boss Man. Boss Man, tell him you got to get rid of them niggas. Yes, sir. Boop, he threw us out the window. You know. The only person that remembered this, what it really meant, was the Imam Jamil. Because I used to tell him stuff like this. Yeah. Bro Rabbit and the Briar Patch. Y'all remember that?
You mentioned it before.
Brother Rabbit, Bro Rabbit. Please, Mr. Bat, please don't throw me in the briar and the Briar Patch. Don't do that. No, not the Briar Patch. And he throws him right where he lived. Little holes around here where the rabbits, they make little tunnels. I see it every morning when I go running. They run right in there and they can't nobody get them. So he tell Boss Man, the bear, don't throw me in there, please. Just to show him who's boss, he throws him right there at home. That's the same thing about this. Oh, Boss Man, don't throw me in there with all them niggas, not the niggas, anybody but them, boss. There you go. I'm telling you. That's why, look, you're not going to find any sadness, any hatred. I'm not going to wind up hating niggas because they do all of this stuff. Because that's why I asked Boss Man to throw me. Oh, with them niggas? Oh, no, they do this. Not the niggas. Niggas. Right? I'm telling you, look. God gave the colored man some things to work with. Everybody gets something to work with. And if you can whip Boss Man, you have to tell him, Boss Man, I have been psychologically slapping you around for the longest I've been, You don't want to lose some sleep, not me. I mean, right? Tell the truth. Boss man, and you got to do right. Do right, you must be crazy. So what he do? He just killed more and more blacks. And a long time ago, it was local news in the U.S. where it went to. If it went from one city to the other. But now it goes all over the world. You know what the world is saying? What in the hell is wrong with the white man in America? What is wrong with him? I mean, what? Have you been drinking or you using dope? Right?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Just like say that, all of the above. Yeah.
All of the above, and people don't, they're trying to figure out, wait a minute. You have read Gibbon's Fall of the Roman Empire and all. You have, that's when I was talking to the FBI. I said, you have read a couple of history books out here. This is 10 years ago. Imagine what they're doing now. Them same FBI. I talked to them like I'm talking. I said, no, man. No, you ain't gonna be, it ain't gonna work like that. I said, I'm sorry. Okay. Our point is this. We have the best job in modern times. We have right here. And there's no sense getting absorbed in disliking people because they behave like human beings. The Quran tells you what the human being is going to do, right? Hadith tell you if he's not a serious believer, and if he's even a pretty good believer, he's still going to slip and slide. That's what forgiveness is about, right? Why you think Allah invented forgiveness? He invented it for the human being. He don't need it for himself. Allah don't need forgiveness. Allah ain't did nothing. He invented it. The animals don't need forgiving because they don't do nothing but what they genetic program said. What? We eat rabbits. He's not going to change his makeup because he can't. But insan, the human being. Anyway, this Ramadan that puts us at a time in history. Things are getting a little bit closer to something or other. I mean, there's something coming up. It's not a big mystery, but the thing for us is to hold on to our way of life and to do it with kindness. I don't want to mention this word, but technically, L-O-V-E, I won't even say it. Because I remember we was down there and I was saying, see, the young lady said, I like you, because I was saying, when y'all look at me, I probably, so was a young girl could have been a granddaughter or something. I like you. I said, I'll be damned. I said, I ain't doggone. Do you remember that? So she was probably looking at me like her grandfather or something like that. And I'm looking at me and what the white man be looking at, right? Or the system, or the Negroes that boss man hired. One thing I want to mention to all of us is never get hooked up on the Negroes that boss man hire. Because usually the ones that he took for a special job, usually they're basically crackpots. They're not screwed on too tight. If they was, they wouldn't do the job. You could imagine the people that do certain things, they wouldn't do that if they had any sense. The things they say. Some people have said, your father sold you into slavery. I said, well, I don't know. Stuff like that, right? That we've heard with our ears. the stuff that they say don't make sense. Those are the people you have to select and focus in on to try to do good on their behalf. It's not like, Lord, forgive them, they know not what they do, but it's similar. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. And if we use human adjustment and human mathematics and all of that to try to produce what Allah wants us to produce, well, we'll make a mistake every time. You'll make a mistake every time. The only thing that can solve this is that you using superior text, superior reality. And forgiveness is more powerful than hatred. Right? It's very simple. I have reserved for myself the rule of mercy. Who said that? Allah said it in the Quran. Right? I have designed for myself, I have hooked myself up with the rule of mercy. So that's Allah to put on himself, right? A rule. You can't put no rule on Allah, but Allah can put on himself. And he can take it off if you want. But the rule, we count on that. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, now let's just jump into history and head on home. This is a transition period that we're going through. It's kind of clear to see that. Okay? We always said we wanted to play a part in that. But sometimes it don't look like that. Sometimes, if you look at it the way he presented, you'll look like a victim. They did this to me. They did that to me. No. You set them up. You arranged for them to be discombobulated. Right? You manage them on occasion. Right? You set them up. You arrange for them to participate with you or about you in the way that outcome, whatever it is, fits you and it helps you. Yeah. You can take the things that they throw on you, turn it into fertilizer, what we always say, right? And grow yourself and anything else out of the same thing that out of discarded. And remember, the world that we want to participate in coming up right now is take the discarded, abused, misused, and they ain't care nothing about them, and build a world out of them. And those people will help fix the world. That's just what we think about. What else? What other better job? Well, you're going to sign up for something better than that. Tell the truth. It ain't no better job than that. Okay, let me move. I won't go into. During Ramadan, we'll be reviewing project management because this is the first week we'll be just cruising along with food and getting all that together. And the last 2 weeks or the last week, we will be more into fundraising and getting things together. And of course, the last days of Ramadan, we'll have the whole list of appearances where everybody is and what everybody's doing. We might hit a few places during Ramadan. Around the middle of Ramadan, near the end, they have Ayah. Ayah is 19th and 21st and the 23rd of Ramadan. that this Shia program, when they come out in heavy numbers, they used to have all the programs at our Masjid in Oakland. Now they have it at IEC, they'll have them all around. All the Shia are not our enemies. There's some of the brothers still here in the United States that really, that was a period of really solidarity, and you'd have to call it real compassion. Because when people are kicked out, or they're not where they want to be right there and they're studying, they're going to go back. And when they find somebody that don't double cross them and they can put confidence in, they really, that develops a certain bond. Okay, some of the people that you see in the media had pieces of that bond, but as they moved on, their political position and their crew began to take precedence over there. And at a certain time, they look like, and Boss Man is hitting on them, yeah, we're gonna look y'all up because y'all with us, and they look up. Boss Man did what he always do. He speak with a forked tongue, I'm telling you. And he don't miss, I don't know how Boss Man pull it off, but he pulls it off. He's willing to fool, able to fool a whole lot of people almost all the time. Maybe there's some inferiority complex in them that they have for Boss Man. Because Boss Man don't have no whole lot of trouble. He don't do nothing slick or witchified, witchery. He don't, he just said, he just give his word. I swear to God, I do it. You do? Well, we with you, Boss Man. And by the way, those mean old people over there, maybe they're the Iranians or Iraqis, they're a mean bunch. And if you help us, we'll help you with them by steering the people away from them. And you look at things right now, that was a bargain. I had people years ago, decades ago, telling me they was working stuff out in Oman and other places, where they had secret meetings with Boss Man. Didn't anybody know about it because there wasn't nobody saying that, definitely in the media, right? We knew about it. And some of our friendly people was telling me before they put in the double cross, we're going to do this, and we're going to talk to them, and we're going to find, it's your business, And they did. And maybe they're a little sad now. But can you imagine that one lie by Boss Man can influence presidencies, prime ministerships, and all of that? And have the people looking like, that baboon that has a big red shiny behind? And he walks around, that's all you see is blood sticking up in there. A baboon, that's the way Boss Man make the brothers look. They walking around right now with their butt sticking up in the air. Election time is around the corner. And Boss Man, they tell them, Boss Man, they have to have election 2 weeks, man, a month, 2 months. They gotta have something before or they're gonna, and Boss Man don't care. He act like he don't even, sometimes he acts even out of sync with himself. But you got to remember, this is that period in history. Look, this is that period in history where he's not in control. He's not in control of his Russia policy, Chinese policy. He letting the Zionists turn flips over everybody. And it's okay, kill all the Palestinians you want. Just because it's their property, don't worry about it, just kill them. use flash, you see all this flashy stuff that's killing them. Blow up everything. These are people that said that we were brutalized by the Nazis. They're using a 100% Nazi policy on the Palestinians. 100 to detail the same thing Nazis did to them. That's what they're doing to Palestinians. Because they have power. Okay. Anyway, so what we'll do here is have, after we have this, if we could put up 2 tables over there, and we'll, the rest of the stuff, yeah, we can put up a couple of tables over there, and yeah, 2 whole tables instead of 1 table. In case we just have a whole line of stuff, we can, yeah, that's what we do. Put 2 tables over there, we can fill them up with a little water. And we got burners downstairs, but the brothers is gonna bring burners. The way the food will work is, we already got a few. For instance, if nobody came tomorrow night, well, we got some food that we could make a salad. We got a soup, and we got potatoes. You know, not hash brown, whatever we call it, our Negro potatoes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we don't care that, you know what I mean? Those are all so-called side dishes, but it'll turn into a real dish if you want it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, so we have some of those things down there. I might have to get my car to us now. I might have to go shopping tomorrow in the morning to get a few things. And I won't be able to get my cars to what's the name till around maybe Thursday or Friday, you know. But he already, from what I understand, is ready to go on. If not, it's okay. No signs of surrender, nor cooperation. For us, we're here and there's no signs of surrender. You know, they think they wear you down, surround you, do